If your subconscious identity still says, I'm not worthy, or it's hard for me to succeed, then no matter how much you journal, visualize, or affirm, your manifestations will stay just out of reach. See, manifestation isn't about wishing harder. It's actually about becoming the version of you who already has it. So trusting the unseen and expecting it to actually show up in your life. Today, I'm sharing the real reason why most people block their desires and how you can shift into true alignment. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about this topic today. First, I will let you know the brew of choice, which is a Twinings French Earl Grey. I didn't think I was a fan of Earl Grey, so I thought I'd try the French Earl Grey, and yeah, I'm not a fan of this either. It has a sort of whipped cream smell, which is kind of strange. Anyway, I'm going to persevere with it, but probably not one that I'd make again. Anyway, okay, let's get on to the topic today. So if you've ever felt like you're visualizing, you're scripting, you may be meditating, you're saying all the affirmations, but nothing is shifting, then this is the episode for you. There's a key ingredient that I think most people miss when it comes to manifestation, and today I thought I would go over that and uncover what it is. So, number one, the common manifestation mistakes that I want to discuss. Let's start with what we think we should be doing when we manifest change in our lives. So you've probably heard the typical steps: get clear on what you want, write it down, visualize it, feel it, and then you might take some inspired action. You start to move in the direction of your desire. Practicing gratitude, so acting as if you already have it. And then finally letting go and trusting in the universe, so surrendering to the outcome. Now, all of this, it sounds simple enough, right? They're pretty straightforward steps. But why do so many people still feel stuck? And you can take it from someone who has been in this exact situation for many, many years of trying all of the manifestation tips, the tips, the tricks, the techniques, all the different things you see on YouTube and the different blogs and what have you. Here's the truth. The missing piece isn't in the steps or the technique. It's in the identity shift. So one of the biggest reasons people struggle to manifest is because they're trying to attract something while they're still identifying as the person who doesn't have it. So let me say that again, because it's really important. One of the biggest reasons that people struggle to manifest is because they're trying to attract something while still identifying as the person who doesn't have it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want to manifest more wealth into your life. So you might use an affirmation. I am wealthy. Money flows to me in unexpected ways. That's great. That's a great affirmation. There's nothing wrong with that. But deep down, if you're still identifying as someone who struggles financially, so if your subconscious belief is, I always have just enough but never more, or money never comes to me, or making money is hard, then your energy is actually misaligned with that very wealth that you're trying to call in. You may have heard in the law of assumption community, this is known as your self-concept. So something important to remember here is the universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you who you are. So knowing this, how do we fix it? Well, we need to shift our identity first. So this is where the real work happens, and there are many ways to do this. here are 3 steps that I feel are highly effective and a good start to changing your self-concept. So number 1, you need to observe and rewire your core beliefs. Now, I often cringe when I hear this sort of thing spoken about, observing and rewiring and all of that. You don't need to get bogged down in digging up traumas and past life regressions and limiting belief programs to make changes. While some of these practices are useful, I don't deny that, I feel like at times it can cause more confusion and actually keep you stuck for longer. So what you could do instead is a simple self-inquiry session and ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold about this area of my life? Do these beliefs support the reality I want to create? So if, for example, you want to create financial abundance, I'll use that the money subject as another example. So if you're wanting to create that, but your subconscious is wired with money is hard to earn, or another common one is rich people are greedy, so thinking that people with money are a particular way, then your subconscious mind will actually go about sabotaging your efforts. It's really amazing. So a good way to uncover your beliefs around money is to stop and take note of how you respond when you actually see someone that's really wealthy. So when you're going about your day, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see someone wealthy? Is it, I wonder how they accumulated their wealth? With a genuine interest in knowing their story. Like, what could I learn from them? I wonder if they're an entrepreneur. Or, on the flip side of that, like many people, do you think, rich bitch, who do they think they are? Or maybe they're drug dealers or they've done something illegal. Now, these sorts of comments can sound a little bit strange, but try and catch yourself next time you're in a situation like this. What actually pops up for you without you even needing to think? What just comes up when you're in that situation? You'll be surprised, because often these thoughts come up automatically without you even having to consciously think about it. And that's what we're trying to identify. So once you've identified these beliefs, you need to shift them. And to shift these deep-seated subconscious beliefs, you need to put into action a rewiring process using tools such as subliminals, hypnosis, meditation, or affirmations to essentially start rewriting the programs. Now, this is a whole other podcast episode in and of itself, so I won't go too deep into this, but I will do a recording about it in the future because it's really important. So in a nutshell, everything we do is governed by our subconscious mind. Our behaviors, thoughts, reactions, emotions, they all stem from our subconscious programming. And unfortunately, the sad part is most of us are not even aware of this. We're not aware of those beliefs that we're holding. And they're just automated responses. That's all they are. So going on to step number 2 of what we can do to identify and shift our self-concept is to embody the energy now. So instead of just wanting something, ask, how would the version of me who already has this behave? I've got to say, this was an absolute game changer for me personally. It was like a golden key, if you like. So I want to be clear here. I'm not talking about faking it until you make it. That's not like that. See, the universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you who you are, as I said earlier. And this is a common misconception, I feel, in the law of attraction community, that you can think and think about what you want send it out to the universe, and attract back to you what you desire. The trouble with it is, if you are wanting something and you stay in that vibration of wanting, you're actually sending out a vibrational frequency of lack. Let me say that again. If you are wanting something and you are continually being in that vibration of wanting, you're actually sending out a vibrational frequency of lack. And wanting equals lack. So rather, you need to become the person that already has it. You have to become that which you seek to be. Now, something I like to do, which I recently came across, is you can use questions such as, why am I so wealthy? Why am I such a successful entrepreneur? Why am I in such great shape? Why am I in the perfect loving relationship? Now, over time with repetition, these questions will start to trick your subconscious mind by shifting your identity, your self-concept. And what you'll find is that the universe will start to reflect circumstances and events back to you. So if you're mastering confidence, for example, start carrying yourself as if you already have it. If you're wanting to manifest a thriving business, show up in the world as if you already are a successful entrepreneur. Now, I'm not saying go and quit your day job. I don't mean that. I mean, in your spare time, start taking baby steps towards your desire. Think of small little actions that you could take that make you feel as if you're already that person. Now, it might sound crazy or even impossible, but you can embody the energy of the new you. You can walk like her, dress like her. How does she spend her time? How does she treat herself and others? Does she move around the world feeling angry and frustrated, or does she move about gracefully with a positive outlook as best she can? So your subconscious mind needs evidence to shift. So start creating that evidence as best you can in small ways. Point number 3 is to trust the unseen and expect it to unfold. This is huge as well. Trust and faith and expectation. Manifestation, it isn't just about thinking positive thoughts or doing rituals. It's more than that. It's about developing a deep, unwavering trust in the unseen. So once you've aligned your identity and embodied the version of who you already want to be, so you have your desire, your only job is to hold that frequency with certainty. You don't have to obsess over the how or when. In fact, if you try to control every detail, often you slow things down, you create resistance. So the how and the when is not your job. I mean, you can think about it in this way. When you plant a seed in the soil, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing, right? You trust that with the right conditions, it will bloom. And it's the same with your manifestations. You must create a sense of expectation within you, as if you already know it's inevitable, regardless of the outside circumstances that you're observing in your day-to-day life. And I know it's easier said than done, but this is the work. So expectation is a powerful, energetic signal to the universe. It says, I believe it's done, I'm aligned, I'm ready. Now, when doubt creeps in, because it definitely will, that's human nature, you need to just gently remind yourself, it's already mine. It's unfolding perfectly, even if I can't see it yet. And as time goes on, you will become more conscious of those unconscious thoughts. The trust isn't passive, it's actually an active faith. It's a choice to lean into certainty, to walk in alignment with your new reality, even before the evidence appears. And when you live from that level of trust and expectation, you collapse timelines and manifestation becomes a natural extension of who you are. So let me be real with you for a sec. There was a time I genuinely didn't believe I could have a business that lights me up, or a life that feels aligned, or that I could speak my truth and have people actually want to hear it. Like, who am I to make a difference to someone? I thought that I needed to have already made it before I could teach or help others, but that's just a rubbish old paradigm that I was living by. Because the thing is, we don't need to be perfect to be powerful. We just need to be honest, embodied, and in alignment with our truth. Very recently, when I started showing up for this podcast and for my Aurora YouTube channel where I share meditations and so forth, even though I wasn't there yet in the traditional sense, I've felt things start to shift. It's been like I'm saying to the universe, I'm ready, I'm available for this version of me, and everything is starting to slowly open up. The serendipities, the coincidences, they're all starting to be shown to me. And the more I practice this vibration, this alignment, while taking action, things are truly starting to change. But I have made that identity shift. I have changed the paradigms, and it's the daily work. It really is. So here's something you can do today to start integrating all of this into your life. Take out your journal or a sheet of paper, and if you like, you could complete the following prompts. So who is the version of me that already has what I desire? Who is she? Who is he? And what beliefs does she or he hold? How do they speak about themselves in their life? What do they no longer tolerate? And what is one small thing I can do today to embody my future self's energy? And then I want you to pick one thing to do today that brings you into alignment with that version of you that you want to become. So to wrap this up, you need to remember manifestation isn't about controlling outcomes. It's about becoming an energetic match for what you want by becoming the version of you who already lives that life. Stepping into that. It's not just about doing the affirmations and the techniques. It's about shifting the internal identity. Because when who you are aligns with what you desire, that's when manifestation becomes magnetic. Thank you so much for listening. If this episode resonated with you, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram at Tea Time with Brilliant Minds, or leave me a comment with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing. You could leave a review or share it with someone who needs to hear this. It helps so much. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.